going to learn how to make a traditional French omelette using a non-stick Teflon frying pan, a heat-resistant spatula, and a wire whisk. I'm going to show you two different techniques, actually the way a traditional French omelette is made, and there's one that's similar to that. It's called an American omelette. The actual mixing of the egg, the preparation in the pan, there's a little bit of a different technique. I will demo them both for you, but the actual object of today's class is to make the traditional French omelette. We're just going to make a plain omelette. So 3 eggs in the stainless steel bowl with a little salt and pepper added to it. Into the non-stick Teflon pan, we're going to put some whole butter. We're going to melt that butter, and we're going to add the beaten egg into the pan with the butter on medium to low heat. We're going to let the egg start to set so the curds start to form, become solid. With the heat-resistant spatula, you will mix the eggs at the same time. Move the pan. Once the curds are halfway formed, you're going to leave the pan on low heat, so a nice flat base formed on the underside of the egg. Leave it there for a minute or so, and then I'll show you how to fold it. French omelette is folded. It's tight in shape. It should replicate an oval shape when you put it on the plate. And as I said previously, I'm going to show you how to fold the omelette in the pan so that it's a nice oval shape. The presentation of the omelette should be smooth, there should be no creases on it, and very important fact, there should be no colour on the outside of the omelette, it should be yellow. The inside should be a little soft, but not that liquid runs out from the side of the omelette. Once again, this is a plain omelette you're making. Really, it's up to the individual. You can either put different vegetables, different meats through the egg, or you can, once you form the omelette in the pan before you fold it, you can put the garnish ingredients in the center and then fold it. If you're going to be using a meat or fish, I suggest that you cook that beforehand, because it won't be able to cook in the egg in the center, or if you mix it through the egg. Tomatoes are okay, spinach is okay, you don't have to cook that. But really the world's your oyster when it comes to filling. Traditional omelette, perhaps that you've seen already, is ham and cheese omelette or mushroom omelette. When it comes to where omelettes come from, the history of omelettes, the French say we invented the omelettes, but really you can go to the Latin for omelette is lametta, and we know how old the Latin language is. If you talk to somebody from Middle East, in particular Persia, Iran, they also make an omelette style dish there. It's called kuku, and it's a mixture of whipped eggs with some fresh herbs added to it. It's cooked in a similar pan, a round pan. It's not folded, but it's cut into wedges and presented in that fashion. So yeah, I don't think, food, as you already know, you come from different parts of the world, and we show you different dishes here. Oh, we make similar from the country that we came from. So yeah, food is older than we are. We just change it. It's like fashion. So yes, class, as already mentioned to you, we're going to make a 3-egg omelette, French style. We're using Canadian grade A eggs, large size. Something I learned at an early age when it comes to cracking eggs. You don't want to crack them on the side of the bowl because eggshell might go into the bowl, and then you'll have to fish it out by straining it or getting a spoon and fishing it out. Best way to crack an egg is on a flat tabletop. So crack it, and stick your thumbs in there and into the bowl. On the flat table, into the bowl. Make any mess, give it clean up. Crack the shell, into a bowl. Not the best way. So three eggs into a bowl, wire whisk. You want to give it, don't want to say a long whisk. If you give it a long whisk, you're going to add more air into the egg mixture, so you'll get a fluffier omelette. If you just mix it a little bit, then your omelette will be the texture of the egg will be harder. The egg white, you don't want to have streaks of egg white through your omelette. So if you add some salt's always in there for flavor. It also helps to break down the egg white, makes it more liquidy. So you want to have these streaks of egg white through your omelette. A little twist of pepper. I'll just give it another little mix. So I'm going to take these eggs over to the pan here and show you how to make the French omelette. French omelette, as already mentioned to you earlier, we're using a Teflon non-stick frying pan. These are the best for making egg dishes because the egg doesn't stick to the pan. If you use a regular cast iron pan, then you have to season the pan, and they're not as good as Teflon pans when it comes to making eggs. Not only omelets, scrambled eggs, fried eggs. Get yourself a good Teflon non-stick pan. A knob of fresh butter into the pan. You don't want to have the pan too hot. You just rotate the pan so the pan gets well coated with the butter. And then take your beaten eggs and add them into the pan. Using your heat-resistant spatula, move the pan from side to side and mix the egg at the same time. Bringing down the curds, the cooked egg from the side of the pan into the center. So the curds are forming. You want to keep the shape as round as possible. You do not want to cook. You want to have the center of the omelette, the egg a little runny. So at this stage, I just leave it on the low heat for a minute or so, so the bottom, anyway, so we want to just leave the omelette on the heat so the underside becomes cooked and nice and flat, and then elevate the pan at one end and fold the omelette in. Pushing it at the same time so it comes up over the edge of the pan. And then with the heat resistant spatula, bring down the piece that's on the side of the pan. Forming that oval shape. Take your warm plate and just tilt the omelette out onto the plate. If you have a clean towel, you can shape the omelette. So once you've beaten your eggs, warm your pan slowly on a low heat and melt some whole butter in the pan. You don't want to have the pan too hot, because when you put the butter in there it will burn. In this case, the object of the butter is to give the egg some additional flavour, make it richer. So just rotate the pan until the butter melts. Again, don't have the heat too high. Your beaten seasoned egg, just pour it into the pan. Maybe you have to adjust the heat a little bit, but once again, don't have the heat on too high. And shaking and stirring at the same time. And what you're doing here is you're forming the curds of the egg. The egg is solidifying, it's becoming harder. Always clean around the side of the pan. Bring the uncooked egg into the center. Traditionally, a French omelette is hard on the outside, soft in the center. So it should be a little runny in the middle. And once it gets to this stage, just leave it on the stove, on the heat for a minute. So the bottom cooks, the top remains nice and soft, runny. Maybe run the spatula around the outside of the omelette to make sure it's not sticking to the pan. It shouldn't be, because it is a non-stick pan. And then with your spatula, tilt the pan and just fold the omelette over. Give it a little bit of encouragement, push it to the end. And then take this part and fold it over. Maybe we have to make this again. Still hungry, Seema?
Yes.
We're going to make it again. Too much heat. Tilt the pan onto the plate. Again, chef. So as mentioned at the start of class, it's also going to show you how to make an American omelette. The process is similar. Technique a little different. Once again, warm pan, melt some whole butter in the pan. Don't have the heat up too high. You don't want the butter to burn. Rotate the pan so the butter coats not only the bottom but the side of the pan. Your eggs, crack 3 eggs, little salt, pepper, mix with a whisk. And salt is not only there for flavour, but it helps to break down the egg white so you don't get streaks of white through your omelette. Once the butter has melted, add the egg to the pan. With your heat-resistant spatula, give the egg a little mix. Again, with the spatula around the side of the pan. I'm not shaking the pan. When we made the French omelette, we would shake the pan back and forth. Just leave the pan on the heat. But mix the eggs. You might need to adjust the heat. the outside of the omelette is formed, but there's still liquid egg yolk in the center. So take the pan and rotate the pan so that liquid goes around the outside of the pan. Take it back to the heat. Again, take the pan around the side so that egg cooks. Again, around. American omelette, when it's presented, should have a little bit of colour on the outside, unlike the French omelette where there was no colour. So again, when it's at this stage, stop rotating the pan, just let the bottom solidify. Same technique, doesn't have to be that oval shape. Going to fold over one side, then fold over the other side, tilt the pan onto the plate. Just like the French omelette, the American omelette, you can put different fillings in the center or mix filling through the egg itself. If you're cooking a lot of omelettes, a lot of fried eggs, maybe you want to secure the pans just for that purpose. Where I came from, the breakfast cook actually looked after the frying pans. They didn't, at the end of the shift, they took them to their locker because they didn't want the regular cooks at lunchtime or dinner time using the egg pans to cook steaks and lobsters because the coating on the bottom, the pan became non-stick. So just fold the omelette over, a little bit colour on it, and onto the plate. One American omelette. So make sure there's no eggshell going in the bowls, ladies. When you think about the egg, it's not only used to make breakfast items, egg dishes, fried eggs, scrambled eggs, omelets. They can be used. They're used in baking. They're used in many different recipes. Egg is a foundation, a staple in many different dishes. Little salt helps to break down the egg white, so you won't get those streaks of egg white through the omelette when you make it. What do they say? Really, the world's your oyster. No, the world's your omelette when it comes to adding different ingredients to it: ham, cheese, mushrooms, bell peppers, smoked salmon, asparagus. As I told you already, you can always also take the omelette into the dessert kitchen and make a sweet omelette where you would put different fruits in it, mango, strawberry, raspberry, and serve it as a dessert, warm dessert. So gas heat, remember, not too high, You're going to warm the pan. Into the pan you're going to put your butter and rotate the pan, or with your spatula you can mix the butter in the bottom of the pan so the pan gets well coated. And you don't want to have the gas up too high or the butter will start to burn, and if that happens then it will give a nutty flavour to your omelette. I know I demoed the French omelette style and I also demoed the American omelette style, but ladies, you're just required to make the French omelette style, so the first one. So that's the one, Anne, where you're shaking the pan and stirring at the same time. Okay, Seema? So slowly add your beaten eggs to the pan. You might have to adjust the heat, the gas, a little bit, and shaking the pan and mixing at the same time. Beautiful. Excuse my humor, you're all doing an excellent job. Coming along there, very nice. The end result is to get that nice yellow oval-shaped omelette onto the plate. Catherine, you might develop a different technique of the mixing and the shaping of the omelette, but really, as long as you get that nice oval-shaped omelette without any pieces on the plate, then that's the object. At that stage, I would just leave it on the stove. So it sets on the bottom. all looking good, all shaped nicely. Practice makes perfect. Practice. Eggs are a cheap ingredient, inexpensive, full of nutrition. If you're not happy with it, then make it again. Make it again. But the more, just like anything, the more you practice, the better you become. Did anybody have any concerns, any worries before we started making omelets today? No?
No questions.
No questions? Nothing at all?
Very clear.
Very
Toughest way
clear.
to.
Okay, so thank you. Thank you very much.